What if I could tell you that you could create your own freedom plan, that you could redesign your business so that you could earn more, work less, and be free? Does that sound too good to be true? Well, it ain't, because I've got my book that I wrote exactly on this topic, and that's what I want to dive into in this episode of the Untapped podcast today, which instrumentally is both a video and audio podcast. So depending on where you're listening, watching, I will pop the links below. And if you'd like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, head along to nataliesisson.com/podcast. All right, let's get started in the little story behind the freedom plan. So when I first started my business in 2010, technically late 2009, I was in Vancouver, Canada, and I was doing social media coaching and consulting and having all sorts of epiphanies about the fact that I could actually teach the skills and knowledge that I'd learned at my tech startup, and people would pay me for it. It was an amazing moment for me, really, when I realized that if I could package my knowledge and skills into offers like products and workshops and courses and have people pay me for it, that I technically had a business I could take anywhere. So I left Vancouver, Canada on a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and that is where the whole adventure began of building a location-independent business from just my laptop and Wi-Fi connection. And it really struck me in that moment that when you figure out the right combination of revenue streams that allow you to live and work from anywhere, you have the most amazing amount of freedom. And here we are in 2020, the time of recording this video and podcast, and finally people have realized that working remotely from just a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection is actually available to pretty much anybody, especially for every single person who's had to experience this during lockdown this year. So it's made my job a lot easier to talk about what I actually do, because before that, I'm not going to lie, most people were like, you do what? The thing is, many businesses can actually be run this way. If you offer services, consulting, coaching, online products, e-commerce products, all of this can be run remotely in the cloud with either yourself or a whole entire team of, again, remote workers. My team is actually based in 7 different countries across the world right now. Almost all of them are independent contractors. We're across so many different time zones, it's not funny. And that is how I've always run my business. And when I've hired people, that has always been the case. I love having a truly global business. And in the Freedom Plan, I talk about how that's possible for you. Even if you are just starting out, even if you don't think you have anything to offer, if you don't think you're an expert, you don't actually have any serious knowledge or expertise or accreditation or certification or whatever. And I'm here to tell you today that you don't need that. You simply need to be a couple of steps ahead of the person who wants to learn from you. And you need to be able to and willing to teach them what you know in a way that makes the complex simple and in a way that allows them to get amazing results, like the results that you've been getting for yourself and potentially clients or customers that you've started taking on. It's not rocket science, people. I'm going to say this again and again and again. But until you've experienced it, it's really hard to understand and believe that you can get paid to simply be you. So I want to celebrate the Freedom Plan today because it is 2 years old at the time of this video going live, pretty much. 21st of November, it got released into the world. But what you don't know about this book is it was formerly a best-selling online course. In fact, the first online course that I created that made me multiple 6 figures and that I had a 6-figure launch with, which blew my mind. This was back in 2014. I did a pilot. Then in 2015, I turned it into a full-blown course based off the pilot and people validating that they really wanted me to teach this. And then I ran that course for 3 years super successfully until I came back to New Zealand and decided to, hang up my suitcase entrepreneur boots, so to speak, and put my suitcase away. However, this course still exists and still lives on, and people still contact me today or meet me in person when we're traveling around the world to tell me how it changed their life. And I took some of the best principles, strategies, and tactics that I have learned to build an online business that I adore and put them into this book. If you are lucky enough to watch this video in the week of 21st of November on, it'll be just 99 cents on Kindle, which is an absolute no-brainer for you to grab. It's part of the celebration of the birthday of the Freedom Plan. Redesign your business to work less, earn more, and be free. And I want to read you a little snippet from the book today that I think is going to really, really help you out. So I'm reading you part of chapter 6, which is called Choosing the Right Revenue Streams for Financial Freedom. Here goes. The purpose of this chapter is to help you identify your best path to monetization. Now that you're armed with knowing your entrepreneurial superpowers, it makes sense to see if the revenue streams you currently have or plan to introduce are in fact in alignment with your profile and your values. If you want to succeed in making your freedom plan a reality, you have to make sure you structure your current or future revenue streams to serve your financial goals too. For simplicity's sake, I like to break revenue streams down into 2 methods. Number 1, selling yourself, your services or products. Number 2, selling other people's stuff. You need to decide which of those suits you best, or you can combine them both. But bear in mind the end goal is not to be self-employed, it's to run a business. I make this differentiation as most people start their business trading time for money, and years after are often still stuck doing that. 'Tis true. Now this may be a necessity to get off the ground and bring an immediate income, but within 12 to 24 months you ultimately want to build a business, one that is not tied to you, your energy, or your activity. While I cover funnels and hiring in the upcoming chapters, you want to decide for yourself today what your freedom plan is. You still with me? All right, I'm going to read on. Let's dive into the 2 simplified methods that you can change or swap to at any time to suit your freedom plan. So method number 1 is selling yourself. By the way, I don't mean in any weird, illegal kind of way. I'm talking about where you sell your knowledge and skills you've acquired in your lifetime and you package it into products and services. And this is one of the most natural ways to build a business that you love. You start by marketing and selling yourself via social media, blogging, vlogging, podcasts, interviews, speaking, any of those things, and positioning yourself as the go-to person in your niche with free content and education people value. From there, you monetize yourself through your platform, which could be a website, it could be your podcast, it could be Facebook, whatever it is, it could be Instagram, TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. And you create online and offline, if you wish, offerings, virtual or physical, that include one or more of the following. Are you ready? Online courses, digital products, books, like this one, coaching or consulting, group coaching or training, workshops or events, services, speaking, software products, e-commerce. So there's quite a few there for you to consider. Now, coaching and consulting, services, speaking, these ones will be seeing you trading more of your time for money, but they are also excellent ways to build revenue streams and earn an income by being you, and they may actually just suit your personality and style. As you grow and become more credible, so will your business. I'm the perfect example of this as someone with multiple revenue streams, and there are millions of other people doing the same. I'm about to introduce you to some of them and show you what's possible. And I go off into several awesome people like Jasper Rebers, who's made a lifestyle business as an Airbnb expert, Nora Dunn, who does financial planning from the road, and she's a huge traveler, Paul and Cheryl Shard, who get paid to sail the world. They have a TV series, a YouTube series, books, documentaries, so awesome. Cheryl's in the 10K club. Greg and Rachel Denning, who have a family of 5 and basically travel the world teaching, homeschooling and inspiring others through consulting work. And Erin McNeely, who created ongoing revenue streams via building apps. Who else did I have in there? Yeah, I think they were all the case studies. So definitely worth picking up the Freedom Plan for 99 cents on Kindle or paying full price because it's totally worth it. And now I'm going to go into model number 2. So that is selling other people's stuff. And this is perfect if you have no idea what you want to sell or you have no desire to sell something that you create yourself. And I do find that there's, 2 types of people in this world. The ones who want to create and own everything themselves, fantastic. And those who are like, let me promote and sell something that already exists and is awesome. So model number 2, selling other people's stuff. Many people are not fond of being in the limelight or building a business around them. And some aren't actually suited for it. Remember your superpowers from the assessments I hope you took or at least looked at. In fact, this can be a highly profitable model with very low setup costs because most of the work is being done for you in terms of the actual product. You'll end up with residual or passive revenue streams that often allow you to put your business on autopilot. You can sell as a distributor, such as joining a consumer distribution network, also known as network marketing. an affiliate for both physical and digital products or services. I'm an affiliate for so many of the tools and software that I use because I love them. And by setting up an e-commerce site to sell physical products. Then I go off into various people who are doing this, like Felix Page, who's here in New Zealand actually, who was a student and created an e-commerce business from scratch selling sunglasses and did incredibly well. He's basically, I think, making about $20,000 a month in sales. I talk about Richard Patey, who basically sells online businesses and affiliates, which is a slightly different model. I talk about Nat Cutler-Welsh, who distributes doTERRA and some other products through network marketing. And she also has a business coaching, so she's tied it in really well. And then I go into telling you which revenue streams are best suited to you. So if you want me to go on, you have to give me a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button on YouTube. So I'm going to carry on. Which revenue streams are best suited to you? In addition to understanding which methods will suit you best, you also want to decide on how you'll continue to earn and generate revenue. And again, there are 2 ways to do this. See how I like to make things simple? Active and residual. Some may argue there are 3, which are active, residual, and passive. The thing is, I don't believe there is any truly passive income, as in set it and forget it and never work again. Happy to be challenged on that. The closest to this would be if you put your earnings or savings into a managed investment fund, and here you're less likely to have to do much work to make a profit over time. Okay, the same can also apply, I guess, to real estate. I own several properties in New Zealand actually and rent them out and have them on Airbnb. It's a little bit more hands-on, but also I can hire people to help me out with that, and I do. And so it's quite a good mix of residual, sometimes more passive. Like if I was to buy a complete new build and hand it over to property managers, then really my money is in those houses and it's an asset that is growing in value year on year, especially here in New Zealand right now where it's nuts in the real estate market. Okay, I digress. So I talk a little bit about those investments that I have and just how they can be really, really lucrative and also just awesome to have. But back to building your online business. So number 1 is active. More work, more money. Active income typically comes from a service-based approach, such as running a program, coaching, consulting, teaching, or membership-based work. And it's active because you are committing time to this on a weekly basis and actively working on it. Those were the ones that I described in method 1. For example, if you choose to run a membership site, you do need to initially be there, doing the work, turning up live to coaching calls, putting out new resources, trainings, etc., and managing your members' expectations. And then I go into a couple of examples of cool people doing that. The second is residual, or recurring revenue, less work. This is the best type of revenue for your business, especially if you want more freedom and location independence. It means you do the upfront work and you do it well. But after the initial setup, launch, and work, you then put systems in place and automate it as much as possible. Naturally, there'll be some ongoing marketing and maintenance, but the rest can be automated. And then I detail a few examples like software, creating an app, for example, being an affiliate marketer, getting sponsorship. So a lot of these are set it up and then it starts to work really, really well. And there are a lot more as well. And then I tie it all up and say, put it all together. So the ideal setup is that you should have several revenue streams within your freedom business so that you're never relying on just one form of income. And I think that COVID has absolutely highlighted how important that is, where many, many businesses, it was heartbreaking to see, fell over completely because they relied on one source of income and one business model. And I just don't want that for you. So the beauty of working for yourself and building an online business with multiple revenue streams means that if something goes wrong or if something dries up or if a crisis hits, you're not going to be left so exposed. In fact, if anything, you should be left in a really, really good place and even thriving. And there were a lot of people that I know this year, including myself, who have managed to thrive, and some people who've had their best business years yet. All right, food for thought. So depending on your sweet spot, you may be better suited to active versus residual income. Stay true to what feels best for you and layer your revenue streams over time. You can't kind of come out of the gate with 8 revenue streams like I had. I built them up over time and layered them. My first revenue stream was an active one, and I set up a social media bootcamp workshop in Vancouver, sold out all 3 of them, went from like being broke, I kid you not, to $15,000 in a month. And then I went off to Argentina. I turned it into an online program and created a digital product from there. So both of those were residual. And then I incorporated my teachings and content into other events and retreats. So back to active income, which then led to more products, sponsorships, and affiliate marketing, which was a mix of residual and passive. I know plenty of business owners that mix up all of these to suit them, and some remove the active revenue streams when they want to take time off. So coaches, consultants, retreat goers, they often will just remove those while they take a 2 to 3 month period off and their other revenue streams are still working for them. And you've got to do stuff that lights you up. You've got to do the things that you really enjoy. Like, I love running retreats and workshops because I enjoy being with people. I couldn't just have a fully automated residual business making me money while I sleep and doing nothing. It just doesn't have a lot of purpose for me. It doesn't feel like I'm impacting people's lives. So I love to coach them, create memberships like my 10K club. I like to be involved in people's success. All right, action taking time. And I have this in the book and I would love it if you took action while watching this video. You now get to grab a pen and paper and I want you to map out your business and revenue model. You should have a healthy idea of which business model suits you best, as well as several ideas for creating multiple streams of revenue. And if your current business isn't really working for you or you don't have a business, what can you change to create more residual revenue and free up more time for yourself? Now, good news. First off, you can buy this book to get more ideas and strategies. Second off, in the description below, I have a free ebook and it's called Get Paid to Be You. And in it, I detail out 10 ways for you to make money and have income streams that suit you based off a lot of what I wrote about in this book, but I go into more detail and it's free. So head to nataliesisson.com/impact or click the link below. Please do pick up a copy of the Freedom Plan, whether it's 99 cents on Kindle this week or whether you're seeing this at a later date. It's so worth the money. I put a lot of effort into this book. It actually came out of a really amazing online course that I ran for 3 years to hundreds and hundreds of amazing clients who still contact me now with how much freedom they've created, money they've made, just how it changed their life. And I put a lot of the really great stuff from that course into this book. So it's worth way more than like $10 or $20 or whatever it is. It's also available on audio and Audible if you want to listen to my dulcet tones. I probably sound a bit better than my reading today, but hope you enjoyed it. And just don't forget to go after your dreams and learn how to get paid to be you, because you have an unfair advantage. It's called you and your beautiful, unique self, and package that into multiple revenue streams that allow you to do more of the work you love, serve others, make an impact in their life, and for you to lead a great lifestyle. It's entirely possible. Hit subscribe, like, and I'll show you how. Every single week I'll be releasing a video to show you how to do that. Thanks so much for watching.